There is indeed an art to letting go of your family. Now, many of us could never even dream of letting go of our family because our hearts are sincere in the love that we feel towards our family, in the affection that we feel towards our family, that we desire from our family, that we desire to give to our family. But the fact still remains that in order to grow, we may find ourselves in a position where removing ourselves from familial dynamics is necessary. And there are containers that we must remain in when we are having these connections with our family that do not allow us to explore ourselves. And this shows up in many different ways. So it could be demands from your family, opinions that still affect you, that sway you, projections, beliefs that family members may have of you and may have of what you yourself might call your authentic expression, and all the things that you might enjoy as an individual who is soul searching, exploring the self. So it can be a very painful process to come into this realization and to actually choose to create the space required for you to be able to explore yourself and to be able to deepen your relationship with yourself and have an understanding of yourself. It's painful because you have to let go of what is familiar. It's painful for other people who are connected to you. They have to let go of what is familiar, whether it be your presence, whether it be the version of you that they are used to, whether it be the things that you guys used to participate in with one another. So there's pain involved, and at times conflict. It can be really intense conflict. So if you are that sort of soul, that sort of being that truly feels an inward calling, an inclination to do something different, to go deeper within yourself and to fulfill your heart's desire, to explore your heart's desire, and you are finding yourself in the really tough position of feeling guilt for wanting to remove yourself or to allow yourself this space and time to grow, I want you to start exploring different ways that you can go about this, and exploring the idea of doing this with integrity, doing this without the limitations that often are perceived, that arise within you as you start to realize this need is present, that you have a need to, really separate yourself. And also explore the ways that you can navigate your own emotions, your own experience, when it simply is not possible to create this degree of separation or to establish boundaries without hurting people. So feelings of guilt and feelings of shame that might arise, feelings of anger, feelings of resentment. So I'm going to give you an example to start, and that is the connection to the mother. At that moment of conception, you and your mother are creating a bond that can never be severed. You are connected at the heart. You are developing through her experience. What she is living through, what she is experiencing while you are in the womb, is actually creating your genetic structure. It is instilling within you qualities and traits far before you are even fully developed. Right? And you guys are sharing emotional states of being, whether they be pleasant or highly stressful. And it is very common for you to come into this world and feel the sentiments of your mother, or your mother to feel the sentiments that you yourself are going through, even when there is no communication, even when that connection was severed. And so it can be difficult to have that connection and simultaneously experience a need to separate yourself from that connection, whether it is something that you are choosing for yourself or whether it is something that is out of your control. It's a deep wound that is created when we experience a separation from our mothers. And this is also translating towards other relationships. This is the most strong relationship, I would say, because you both shared a birth, right? The day you were born, your mother was also reborn into a completely different person by nature. Now you come before her own self, and her self is having realizations that you are now a part of her. Same goes with your father, although it's different for obvious reasons. Out of everybody that could have been your mother or your father, it was them. Out of everybody that could have been your brother or your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, it was them who just so happened to be that. The family ties, the family connection, you don't get that anywhere else. This is your family. But that does not mean that you have to remain in a place that does not serve you and your growth. And that does not mean that you are subservient to your family to the extent that you are actually harming yourself or your ability to grow. And often family members will feel entitled to you because you share DNA and you share this blood. And oftentimes you yourself will feel responsible for your family in this way, when in fact you are not. So as a mother or father, of course, you have a responsibility to show up for your children. And in that case, there is no running away. I mean, you have the option, but this does not apply to a responsibility that you have and that ultimately you should not run away from. I'm speaking more in terms of your own autonomy as a being and allowing yourself to accept this. Whether you are the family member who is perceiving a being within your dynamic that is needing space, or you are a being who is in a family dynamic that is you yourself needing space, going through this process is painful, no matter what position you may find yourself in. And going without that acknowledgement can create harm. It has the potential to create harm, and often it does. It very well might feel intentional when the harm is created amongst one another. It might feel like your family is out to get you, doesn't want you to grow, doesn't want you to be yourself, wants to criticize you and minimize your heart and your desire for yourself. Or it might feel intentional when someone says, hey, I need my space. Hey, I don't really want to be here right now. Or silently just removes themselves from the life that you once lived with one another. But to understand one another and to open your mind to the reality that the harm is not necessarily intentional. Myself, as someone who has needed to create space between myself and my family and even my friends, I have found that it becomes easier and it becomes more difficult in different ways. So in one sense, I feel more liberated. I have felt more liberated because I no longer experience certain types of judgment for my self-expression. I no longer feel as though I'm being boxed, I'm being placed inside some sort of a box or some sort of an image that I have to uphold that I can no longer uphold, right? I have felt able to, in my authentic expression and in that creation of space, able to align to people who are actually in alignment with how I feel and the way I see the world and the things that I want. And there's family in that. I've been able to create family with beings who also see the things that I see and feel the ways that I do. Not exactly, but in a way where when we come together, we are able to not only grow, but we're able to build. And we're able to do things with a lot less resistance. So it's that desire. It's not the intention of harming you or your family member. It's the desire to build and expand and to grow. And why wouldn't we want the people that we love, our family members, to do that for themselves? It's painful. Maybe you felt left behind. Maybe you felt excluded. But it requires a choice, a conscious decision, dedication, work to put yourself in that position. And if you yourself are not putting in that work, or you don't have the same tenacity, then there's an uneven playing field. So people feel the need to leave. Or maybe you have an equal desire and willingness, but for some reason there's something there that says, I can't do this with you. I must go alone. I must do this alone. And that's okay. It becomes more difficult because the more you go down this path of growth and exploration, even at the expense of separating yourself from your family, the more you realize how rare it is to come across people that you actually feel a connection to. The more you start to reflect on moments where you shared that bond, that level of a bond. The bond doesn't disappear. The connection that you have to your mother cannot be severed. The reality of the level of alignment that has occurred cosmically for you to be your brother's brother, be your sister's sister, be your brother's sister, be your sister's brother, that doesn't disappear. And creating narratives that are rooted in fear and hatred and a lack of acceptance creates so much mental anguish. It blocks us from being able to explore ourselves and simultaneously appreciate one another. Gratitude is something that should not be undervalued. It should not be taken lightly. Being thankful for your life experience, even when it feels as though something is inhibiting you from your joy. Your perspective is going to alter the way that you experience these interpersonal relationships. And when there is a need to let go, when there is a need to go deeper, there is also a need that follows, which is the need to accept, to understand, to love. That is if you want to have that sort of experience. You feel that there is a loss, and both parties feel that way. Both people are experiencing this in a different way. But when you can look at your brother or your sister, your friend, and celebrate them for who they are becoming, and when you yourself, as the person who's removing themselves, can look at your brother and sister and trust that they are also celebrating you despite your choice, this fear starts to dissipate and there's more possibility. Do not be afraid to do what you are called to do. Do not be afraid or guilty, or don't allow yourself to be in this state of festering guilt and shame just because people don't accept you. There's always going to be those family members or those viewers who are going to feel some type of way because you didn't follow suit with their desire and their wishes for you, for what they wanted your life to be so that it could serve them. And when you really put it that way, it sounds kind of crazy. Now, I'm not saying that if that's you that you're crazy, but I am saying that there are emotions involved with this, and it's not easy, and life hasn't always been easy, and life isn't about always being being easy all the time. And that's okay. And the sooner we accept that, the more we're able to navigate these situations. So there's more of a pleasant experience. And you yourself can actually start to do the same thing for you. You never know what sort of mysteries lie within these needs that you have. So don't hold yourself back and therefore hold everybody else back because you're too afraid to disappoint the people around you. But also don't do it with a heart full of fear and haste. Don't do it in a way that is manipulative. There is no need to manipulate a situation, to coerce people to think one thing about you when the opposite is true. There's no need to lie and to tiptoe around the reality of who you are becoming and who you wish to become. We create stories and we create outcomes rooted in fear instead of embracing ourselves and witnessing who it is around you that actually cares for you on that deeper level. Those people who are going to support you and love you through the changes that you're experiencing, those people who are going to accept you, accept the fact that you have dreams and desires and wishes, genuinely, they will reveal themselves as you are honest and transparent. Hiding yourself, allowing yourself to do what others are asking you to do when you know that it's not right for you, when you know that you need to make a change and you want to make a change, is going to create resentment towards that person, and ultimately you're going to have resentment towards your own self. Letting go is not easy. It's very charged, the familial dynamic. You don't have to sever this connection, nor is it possible. You don't have to control the way people feel about you, and you don't have to control others in the way that they behave towards you. Because most of the time, people need to do things for themselves. That's a level of self-love that you can learn from. That's a level of self-exploration that can give you answers that you were asking for, that you didn't even know you were asking for. It can bring solutions into your life. Embrace the changes that people are going through and become curious about those beings, about your family members that are needing that space. Because that curiosity that you have for one another will open the door to conversation, will open the door to more love, less fear. Separating yourself, sometimes it means that you have to do things alone for a while. You have to find yourself in a state of solitude, and it might feel like isolation. It might feel unhealthy for a while. It might feel really sad. Doing this for yourself it doesn't turn out as beautifully as I might be expressing it right now. Often it's not as lovely as being open-minded and accepting it and having pleasant conversations about the changes. This is something that often does not happen. So if you're going through that period of separation and it's not harmonious, keep your eye on what you are doing for yourself. Keep your eye on the gift that you are giving to yourself, that you are giving to humanity. Continue to believe in yourself by way of remaining true to yourself and being authentic, creating a sense of authenticity for yourself and for others to receive, not the version of what everybody wants you to be. And trust that that alignment that you are creating within is going to reflect outwardly, and you will make connections that allow you to flourish and fill that gap, fill the space that you created and that we all ultimately need. We need one another. It is not natural to separate yourself from your friends and your family and have no one and just stay in this liminal space of isolation and feeling like you've abandoned everybody, but on some level people have abandoned you because of those changes. Allow that space to be filled and allow that to unfold before you by way of embracing what you are doing and why you are doing it. Remembering why you have chosen that path. Remembering the beautiful aspects of the people from your past that hold a place in your heart. Recreating a relationship. You are leaving behind a relationship that no longer exists. You might be holding on to the memory of the relationship you once had with your family, but that is just an illusion at this point. That is not what it is anymore. So recreating the relationship that cannot be severed into something that is in alignment with you and considerate of the other. Because if you want people to accept you as you are in your desire, you also have to accept others where they're at. You can't just expect everybody to just be how you want them to be, think how you think, do what you do, when they in fact do not want to do that and they don't have the same desires as you. So recreating that relationship into something that works for everybody. Reframing the narrative that you have so that you can continue to grow. Often we block our ability to grow because we've done this thing that we needed to do for ourselves, but we did it with anger, we did it with resentment, we did it with guilt, we did it with shame. Even if you cannot communicate to family members and beings that once mattered to you or that you really wanted to matter to you to that extent, you can recreate the relationship. You can reframe the narrative into something that will open your heart, open yourself in a way that allows you to keep growing. Your body is constantly communicating to you. Your body has multiple aspects to it. Energetic aspect, emotional, mental, spiritual elements to your body, physical, of course. And when we're imbalanced in one part of the body, or when we are solely focused on the mind, or we are solely focused on the physical, imbalances start to occur. And we become senseless. We become incapable of listening to what is being communicated to you. And the insights that come from the intelligence that is your body are ones that give you the answers that nobody else can give you. Doesn't matter how skilled and how brilliant a person is, nobody can give you the answers that you have within yourself. So this is what I teach people to do. So I teach people how to listen to the body, how to create enough space through the breath, through movement, through expression, through acknowledging, to re-establish that connection and to allow these things to be processed in a way that is expansive and in a way that doesn't really involve so much thinking, so much forcing. It is more so the body is guiding you and speaking to you. It is more so that the breath is guiding you and showing you exactly what it is that you need to know so that you can continuously grow, so that you can be in that path that is natural, which is the path of growth and expansion. Expansion and growth is scary sometimes, but the reason that we fear and the reason that we feel all this anxiety and this tension is due to the imbalances of focusing solely on the mind and not having a strong established connection to that spiritual element or that mental element or that emotional element, whatever the case may be for you. Everybody's different, right? So please feel free to reach out to me if you are interested in working one-on-one with me and having this transformational experience where I show you and I guide you as to how to process these challenges and how to navigate listening and receiving the answers required for you to feel and know and sense that there is always a solution readily available to you if you can hear it.